राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी। जय यशोदानन्दना जय ब्रजजनरञ्जना। जय यशोदानन्दना जय ब्रजजनरञ्जना। जय यमुनातीरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva शरिणाम संकीर्तन की शिल प्रभुपाद की ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Reading from Canto 6, Chapter 12, Text 14 and 15. 14 has translation and 15 has purport. So we have displayed the shlok 15 over here. We'll recite that. Satvam rajastam iti prakrutirnatmano guna tatra sakshinam atmana यो वेदसन बध्यते सत्वं रजस्तम इति प्रकृतेर्नात्मनो गुणा तत्र साक्षिणाम् आत्मानं यो वेदसन बध्यते सत्वं रजस तमस इति प्रकृतेर्नात्मनो गुणा तत्र साक्षिणम् आत्मानं यो वेदसन बध्यते सत्वं रजस्तम इति प्रकृतेनात्मनो गुणा तत्र साक्षिण आत्मानं यो वेदसन बद्धते सत्वं रजस्तम इति प्रकृतेनात्मनो गुणा तत्र साक्षिण आत्मानं यो वेदसन बद्धते। माताजी सत्वं रजस्तम इति प्रकृतेनात्मनो गुणा तत्र साक्षिण आत्मानं यो वेद स न बाध्यते सत्वं रजस्तममिति प्रकृतेनात्मनो गुणा तत्र साक्षिण आत्मानं यो वेद स न बाध्यते. Sattvam, the mode of goodness. Raja, the mode of passion. Tama, the mode of ignorance. Iti, thus, prakrute, of the material nature. Na, not. Atmana, of the spirit soul. Guna, the qualities. Tatra, in such a position. Sakshinam, an observer. Atmanam, the self. Ya, anyone who. Veda, Veda, knows. Sa, he. Na, not. Badhyate, is bound. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. One who knows that the three qualities, goodness, passion and ignorance, are not qualities of the soul, but qualities of material nature, and who knows that the pure soul is simply an observer of the actions and reactions of these qualities, should be understood to be a liberated person. He is not bound by these qualities. Purport. As Lord explains in Bhagavad Gita 18.54, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kangshati samasarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param. One who is transcendentally situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed to every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. When one attains self-realization, the Brahma Bhuta stage, one knows that whatever happens during his life is due to the contamination of the modes of material nature. The living being, the pure soul, has nothing to do with these modes. In the midst of the hurricane of the material world, everything changes very quickly. But if one remains silent and simply observes the action and reactions of the hurricane, he is understood to be liberated. The real qualification of the liberated soul is that he remains Krishna conscious, undisturbed by the actions and reactions of the material energy. Such a liberated person is always jubilant. He never laments or aspires for anything. Since everything is supplied by the Supreme Lord, the living entity, being fully dependent on him, should not protest or accept anything in terms of his personal sense gratification. Rather, he should receive everything as the mercy of the Lord and remain steady in all circumstances. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shita Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tan Swajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitancha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashat Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Goratsvise Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namasute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhesha Krupa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I'll read the translation of text 14 also. Since everything is dependent on the supreme will of the personality of Godhead, one should be equipoised in fame and defamation, victory and defeat, life and death. In their effects, represented as happiness and distress, one should maintain oneself in equilibrium without anxiety. Text 15. One who knows that the three qualities, goodness, passion and ignorance, are not qualities of the soul but qualities of material nature, and who knows that by pure soul is simply an observer of the actions and reactions of these qualities, should be understood to be a liberated person. He is not bound by these qualities. Hare Krishna. So first of all, I would like to take blessings of all the senior Vaishnavas sitting over here, so that I can speak something from the Bhagavatam to glorify Bhagavatam for my purification. So today we are reading very beautiful purport of Srila Prabhupada about this from the chapter Vritrasura's glorious death. So very soon we are going to celebrate the disappearance day of Vritrasura. Yes, because this Vritrasura's pastime is coming in the Bhagavatam, and Bhagavatam speaking this Leela is going eternally. And this pastime which is taking place on the bank of Narmada, so where this pastime, in this pastime very soon, maybe in couple of weeks, Vritrasura is going to leave his body, rather he's preparing now to leave his body and teaching us wonderful lesson. So Srimad Bhagavatam always reminds us, rather we can see the foundation of Srimad Bhagavatam is about the inquiry of Parikshit Maharaj to Sukdev Goswami. And Sukdev Goswami, in response to the questions of Parikshit Maharaj, because Parikshit Maharaj is going to leave his body very soon, and in his response he explains the whole Bhagavatam. And the scripture Bhagavatam, from the starting or from the beginning to the end, it discards all the purusharthas and establishes pure devotional service. So when we read the Srimad Bhagavatam, we get opportunity to understand the pure devotional service, and rather those devotees who have internalized this pure devotional service, who have practiced the pure devotional service, that knowledge and understanding we get. So today, these two verses, text 14 and text 15, which we are going to discuss. So yesterday a verse was having the theme about how good and bad depends on the time. And text 14, what we read today translation, it has a theme about that therefore we should be equipoised, because good and bad happens with the time, therefore we should be always equipoised. And this verse, text 15, talks about the vision of liberated person. What should be the vision of liberated person? So we'll see in the pastime of Vritrasura how he himself teaching us the wonderful lessons through his own example. So when does something becomes more exciting in our life? When are we more inspired by something? The answer is when we come across some unusual things in our life, correct? When we see something unusual, then we feel excited, we feel inspired like that. But Krishna Katha, which is recommended by Sukdev Goswami and our acharyas for this Kali Yuga is for the dull-minded people. Because for dull-minded people of Kali Yuga, Manda Sumanda Matayor, unless there is something very exciting, they will not become alert. We have to really trigger up something, then they will become alert, like Jiva Jago, Jiva Jago. So it takes a lot of effort for the Kali Yuga people, for dull-minded people, to wake them up and understand to the lotus feet of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, many unusual things are happening, beginning from the first canto itself, where we see in the pastime of this, it begins with Bhishmadev. Bhishmadev is one of the 12 Mahajanas, but Lord purposefully puts him on the side of Adharma, on the side of Duryodhan. And Bhishmadev, he becomes the subservient of Duryodhan. Rather, he follows all the orders of Duryodhan. Whatever Duryodhan is telling, he has to carry all those orders. But Bhishmadev is a 12 Mahajanas, as we see here on the ceiling. He, the picture on the ceiling, he establishes the pure devotional service through his teaching. But Lord wanted to establish, even if you are a topmost personality, but if you are on the side of Adharma, you will be defeated. So sometimes such kind of unusual things, okay, makes us more exciting. Another thing, if you see the pastime of Hiranyakashipu and Narsimhadev, this Hiranyakashipu, to get boons, he did a lot of austerity and tapasya. If you see his picture in the Bhagavatam, he is standing on one leg and as ant hill is there. When first time I saw that picture, I really got bewildered. My God, what a unusual things, what a exciting thing. And hardly we see his body actually, skin. We see only bones only on his body. But when his tapasya is fulfilled, Lord Brahmaji is coming and just sprinkling the water, and immediately he get beautiful body. Jai Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Gaur Nitai Srila Prabhupada ki. And he has beautiful boons to Lord Narsimhadev. All the permutation combinations he asked actually. And when later, when demigods come to know that in the womb of Kayadu, some child is taking birth, who is the son of this Hiranyakashipu, they really got scared. They were about to kill that child. But we know Narada, he intervened in between and he told, no, this child, although the husband and wife, Hiranyakashipu and Kayadu, they are from the demonic family, but this child is a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. Is it not something unusual? And when Narada tells that, everything becomes, okay, they take their proposal back, not killing the child. In the pastime of Gajendra, crocodile and Gajendra, they fight actually. Crocodile is a animal in the water and Gajendra in the animal on the land. Okay, both contrast. They have their own strength, but they are fighting. And how Gajendra at the end surrenders to the Lord. So these beautiful pastimes, these unusual things, they really triggered us. If you see this Guinness Book of Record, there also sometimes, not Guinness Book of Record mainly for the human achievement and something natural extremes which are there, all recorded there. And it has started, I think, around 1955 by the Britishers. There actually you will see some unusual things where Kali Yuga people get attracted there. Okay, like somebody may eat in 30 seconds 350 chilies, hot chilies. This hot chilies could be maybe from Argentina, something like that. And they eat in 30 seconds and they break the record, their name goes in that. Or somebody has done like, he has hold a rope in the teeth and the helicopter is about to fly. And with his whole power in a teeth, he is holding that rope. And for few seconds, he is not allowing helicopter to fly. For few seconds, because that record timing is maintained every time. Okay, somebody next comes, then the record is break. So when we discuss such kind of things from the Guinness Book of Record, today's class will be that only, Guinness Book. But we want to discuss about, okay, Bhagavatam book. So these unusual things, they really actually trigger us. Similarly, this Srimad Bhagavatam is meant for the dull-minded people to inspire. And we see the biggest challenge in Krishna consciousness is to sustain our enthusiasm in devotional service. Therefore, Sukdev Goswami also, when he narrated the pastime, entire Bhagavatam is full of various different pastimes, You imagine only Vratrasuru's Lila is there from the first canto to all 12 cantos. Okay? We could have got bored actually. But we need variety. Correct? We need variety. So, Sukdev Goswami, he created newer and newer things. When we read the Bhagavatam, newer and newer rasas are coming. Like that. Just like when we take new mobile, after few days, we get bored. Okay? Because something new comes. Because change is constant in this Kali Yuga. Similarly, the tendency of us to change along with the world is very, very prominent actually. If you see the story of Avanti Brahmana should be in Guinness book actually. He was so miserly personality that we see, but later he understood that it is my mind only, okay, who is troubling me. And in 11th canto we read how beautifully, okay, he offered the wonderful prayers, Avanti Brahmana. Another section, if you see about the love affairs between this Pururava and Urvashi. Pururava is the man from the earth and Urvashi is the woman from the heavenly planets. Amazing, no? Now, Urvashi puts certain criterias and Pururava, he becomes so mad after Urvashi, he decides, okay, to fulfill all those criterias. And we know what happened. And later in 11th canto, again, he shares all his realizations very beautifully. So, whole sections of Bhagavatam, which are from the eternal time Sanatan Dharma, they are full with some unusual things, which Kali Yuga people should get attracted to. And today, we are in the section where this Vratrasur, who is in the body of demon, but who is a devotee. Not devotee, he is a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. Something not unusual. And he is, okay, teaching wonderful lesson, although he is in the body of demon. So, he is having very gigantic body. If you see the picture in the Bhagavatam, he has a huge body. In his hand, that club is there. That is Indra's club. Looks very small. Indra and Airavat looks very small. And he has a huge, gigantic, threatening body actually. So, this Vratrasur section, what we are going to see and what we have seen, the unusual thing. Even Prahlad Maharaj, when Prahlad Maharaj, 5-year-old boy, when he speaks the wonderful shlokas and teachings in the Bhagavatam, we get attracted. My God, how Prahlad Maharaj is able to do. Similarly, Vratrasur is teaching through his life the wonderful lessons. The very first lesson is that our challenge is when sadhaka get misunderstood. Okay, all of us during our devotional life, we have gone through that. Okay, when sadhaka get misunderstood by another devotee or another authority, it really disturbs us. Okay. So I remember once one devotee from another temple, he was sharing with me. He was a neophyte and he has been asked to collect Janmashtami donation. And he collected, very honestly he collected Janmashtami donations. But later, whatever collections he made, he just came and put in hundi. But after a few days, somebody from the committee asked, hey, we have given you coupon, we have given you this receipt book, please return and all the Lakshmi. He said, I put in the hundi. But immediately, the other person, they misunderstood him. They thought, oh, he is a thief only. He has not put in the hundi. He is telling something lie. And he was completely devastated, discouraged. But again, some senior authorities have intervened in between and that issue is resolved. And today he is in bhakti. But we can see on small things, okay, we can get misunderstood by other person. That is very much obvious. Here also we see in Vratrasur, he is in a demon's body, he is a disguise. He is a pure devotee, but he is misunderstood by demigods and everyone. But he is not misunderstood by one person. And that one person is his spiritual master, Narada. Narad Muni has not misunderstood him. So this Vratrasur, he fixed his purpose and whatever responsibilities he wanted to carry, he carried. Because his whole purpose was to please the spiritual master. And why, in spite of misunderstanding, he is able to continue in the devotional service there because of his one quality about humility. He was exhibiting that quality of humility, therefore he could able to continue the service. So Vatrasura here, he has gulped the Indra and Airavat in his, in the body actually. Another quality, Vratrasura is completely focused. Because he understood now, I have gulped Indra and Airavat, fight is over. Now everything is wind up, has taken place. Let me focus completely on the Lord. And he started the meditation on the Lord. Because he understood my mission is accomplished. Now let me please Lord and Krishna. This is my duty. He was very much focused, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, absolutely resolve it in his objective. So all of us also, we have preaching services or various services, book distribution, other responsibilities with the family and others. But our whole purpose should be to please the Lord and the Gurudev. Like we see in the famous verse, Karmane Vadikaraste Ma Phaleshu Kadachan, Ma Karma Phal Heturbhur, Mate Sangvasta Karmani. The four things are there. Keep on performing duty. Never become attached to the result. Never consider yourself cause of your result. And fourth thing, never be attached to not doing your duties. Because sometimes we have tendency, when we get misunderstood, when we get discouraged, we want to give up the things. Main nahi aunga. I'll not render this service. I'll go to some other like that. But here we understand that even if there is a misunderstanding, still we should continue our services. Because we should understand the reason this service I am doing, it's rewarded by my spiritual master. And my ultimate purpose is to please my spiritual master. Another shloka which is very beautiful from the Bhagavatam, which talks about how one should continue his duty, is about tavat karmani kurvita na nirvideta yavata mat katha shravanadeva shraddha yavana jayate. As long as one is not satiated by the fruitive activities, one should act according to his prescribed duty. Because one has not developed the taste for chanting and hearing about the Vishnu. So till the time we develop the full taste about chanting and hearing, we have to continue our responsibility and duties as it is. Like Vratrasur, he is fighting, although his mission is accomplished. Okay, but still when Indra is attacking, he is attacking. Okay, again there is no fight, he is again meditating on the Lord. When Indra is attacking, he is again attacking. So he never give up the fighting. So many times during our management also in Krishna consciousness, sometimes we become hard-hearted. But here we see the Vratrasura's heart is very soft like a butter. So actually whenever we come to Krishna consciousness newly, our hearts are also very soft. But as we grow, okay, and when we put into a very position and authority, sometimes we may behave like a hard-heartedness. So we should not have that. That's the lesson which we learn here. So here, because we get puja, pan, pratishtha, all these things very easily, and then when we get that tendency really come out about the controlling mentality. But here Vratrasura is telling that he is completely focused on his goal. Like suppose from here we go to Vrindavan, and we may get down in between at Bhusawal, or if you go from via Surat, we may get down at Ratlam and on station, and we may do book distribution, we may do kirtan, but again we board the train, because our ultimate destination to reach Mathura, to reach Vrindavan, not in between to get down. So that objective Vratrasura is keeping in front of him, like that. Similarly, we have to keep our objective in front of us, and we have to always surrender to the lotus feet of Radha Vrindavan Chandra and our spiritual master. We see in the life of Bhaktitirth Swami, life of Stoko Krishna Prabhu, how they left their body in the last moment. So here, this Indra and Airavat, they were in the abdomen of the Vratrasur. And he was trying his best actually. He understood, now Vratrasura is going in the trance, Indra understood something we have to do. So he just tears the abdomen and come out with all his effort actually. Sometimes somebody, if some devotee or somebody goes to a hernia operation, they can appreciate. During hernia operation, they make one cut here, like that, and they do the operation actually. And to heal that cut, it takes minimum at least 3 days. And later again, so much pain continues. So here we understood, Indra is not coming silently. Oh, Vratrasura is chanting, he is on trance, let me come slowly. No, he comes, he barges in front of him actually. And as soon as he barged in front of him, he saw Vratrasura is in trance, because Vratrasura is completely focused on chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. He was completely focused on his ultimate objective. Imagine if we are chanting and somebody is coming with this, because Indra is standing with thunderbolt, okay, somebody is coming with hacksaw or something, okay, we get little alert. But suppose that person is coming near to us, we will become more alert. Near to us, so our meditation will get break because we are not focused. But that was not the case of Vratrasura. He was completely liberated, as we see here. in the today's shloka. What is the vision of liberated person? Sometimes by single mosquito also, okay, we get disturbed in the chanting. But he was completely fixed in his goal. Now Indra, he took his thunderbolt and he started cutting the stiff neck of Vratrasur. And it is mentioned further, it takes almost 360 days to cut. Like that. 1 year completely. He did not like chopped up or ek din mein ho gaya. No, it took 360 days. So Vratrasura, he understood now, he has done his duty. Okay, and he's telling Indra actually, you please take this thunderbolt, kill me, take your kingdom and let me go also to my kingdom back home, back to Godhead. My Ishtadev is waiting. Vratrasura's Ishtadev is Lord Sankarshan. He is waiting. He wanted to go that abode. Like that. So, but when demigods saw that Indra is able to cut the head of Vratrasur, we see the picture in the Bhagavatam, they concluded, yes, Indra has won the battle. Indra is victorious. And I don't know whether demigods are always ready, these Gandharvas and Prajapatis with the flower. They are ready always for Pushabhishek. Okay, that description we see in the Bhagavatam. So immediately they showered the flower on Indra. Okay. But although here we understand Indra is victorious, but in the pages of Bhagavatam, the title of the chapter is The Glorious Death of Vratrasur. The title is not like Glorious Victory of Indra. It's not the title. So here we understood the world is remembering Vratrasur, although he got defeated. We see in the pastime of Prithu Maharaj and Indra also. Indra has completed century, 100 Ashwamedh Yajna. But Prithu Maharaj has completed 99. He was about to finish one. But again, Indra was creating so many obstacles. Finally, Prithu Maharaj listened the demigods and accepted and cooperated and decided I'll stop here. And we know later how Lord came personally and nice dialogue between the Prithu Maharaj and Indra. Like that. Sometimes even like in the last week we had Haridas Thakur disappearance day. Imagine like you have done 63 rounds and you could not do one round because of some service or something. Or you have done some 191 and one round we could not do. How much pain we'll feel. Correct, na? So you can imagine. But here, the purpose is not to achieve the, what we can say, the target or making the achievement, but purpose is the cooperation. The purpose is pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here, we understand that the one important lesson, that detachment from any sense gratification, and this is the power of devotional service, which is exhibited by this Vratrasur. And he was doing all these things just again and again because to please his spiritual master Narad Muni. So even if you see in the life of Srila Prabhupada during his last days, till the last moment he was translating Bhaktivedanta Purport. Although he was like, his body was completely ruined, but he was completely in a trance and focused on the mission of his spiritual master Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Because Srila Prabhupada last 35-40 years, he was a grahastha and he has prepared himself, and last few years, we can see 12 to 13 years, he has completely given his life for the dedication fully to the mission of his spiritual master. So therefore, it is saying that the more you sweat in a peace, the less you bleed in a war, like that. Here, this Sukdev Goswami calls Parikshit Maharaj in one of the shloka Arindam. Arindam means one who has subdued the enemy. Parikshit Maharaj previously, like he was a king, and king's duty was to kill the enemy, and he has victory, he has won the victory for many times, so he is calling his Arindam. But there, we see Prabhupada at the purport at other sections, he writes that who is the real Veer or who is the real winner of the battle or any war. There are two things Prabhupada says. One Veer is about one who has got a glorious death on the battlefield, and another Veer who is like a sadhu, who is a vinamra, who is like a shant, and who is fighting and won the battle against this Kam, Krodh, Moha, Matsar, all these 6 anarthas which are sitting, and he is subduing all those enemies. Prabhupada called him also a sadhu or the Veer. He is explaining in the section of Puranjan. So here we understand that the mind of Vratrasur, how do you know the mind of Vratrasur? Because here if you see in the purport or that the section, Prabhupada writes that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains. So our Acharyas, they are nothing but like the Siddha Purush, Nitya Parshad, and they know the mind of the devotees. They know the mind of pure devotee. And here they are explaining, and therefore we are able to understand, although Vratrasura is on the battlefield, but still he is able to focus completely on his mission of the Lord. Because our movement is also not cheap. Krishna consciousness movement is very powerful movement. We have to take it very seriously. And here by the example of Vratrasura, we understand we should not give up. Like Arjuna and Krishna, they are fighting. Krishna is telling Arjuna, Ma manusmara yuddhache. Even if you are fighting, remember me. Same thing Vratrasura is exhibiting. You are fighting, remember me. So, this Vratrasura is a Shuddha Bhakta and Indra is like a Mishra Bhakta. But as far as our life is concerned, we should always aspire to follow in the footsteps of pure devotees. And as it is mentioned over here, we have to wind up. Because more we expand in this material world, more time it will take to wind up also. Correct? So, this Indra and Vratrasur, they are teaching through their lessons, through their behavior, how to act and how not to act. Like Vratrasura's, if you see the example, he is doing his duty and fighting also, and remembering Lord also. So Prabhupada tells in the Bhagavad Gita 8.7, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmara yuddhacha mayyar piti manobuddhi mame vaishya sanshaya. So I'll read the translation, and the purport, it's very small. Prabhupada writes here, therefore Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. Purport. This instruction to Arjuna is very important for all men engaged in material activities. Lord does not say that one should give up his prescribed duties or engagement. One can continue them and at the same time think of Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna. This will free one from material contamination and engage the mind and intelligence in Krishna. By chanting Krishna's name, one will be transferred to the supreme planet, Krishna Lok, without a doubt. Just like Vratrasura went to the Alokam, Sankarshan Lok, transcendental world. So here, from the scriptures also, we learn many examples where that how different devotees, they have perfected their life during their last stage. They perform various activities, but during last stage, they focus complete their attention on the Supreme Lord. Like in Ajamil's example, if you see that Ajamil was a pure devotee, pure Brahmana, means he was doing all Brahmanical practices, but later, okay, his consciousness got contaminated. And we know at the end how he went back to Godhead. So this is because he came in the association of the holy name. Because once Ajamil was out from his home, some sadhus were in that area and some children were playing, and the sadhus wanted to take shelter. So they asked the children, oh, can we take shelter somebody here? They just pointed the home of Ajamil, and they went there and they saw this prostitute, and this prostitute was carrying this in her womb. This she was carrying. And they feel very embarrassed actually when they saw all this situation. We are at the prostitute house. But still they said that, okay, can we name your child? And she said yes, and he named as Narayan. And when Ajamil came at home and his wife told, okay, like this, and our child is named Narayana, he became very happy. And he said, oh, so nice name of our child, Narayana. So Sridhar Swami, he writes one of the place that as soon as Ajamila chanted the name Narayana, there actually, first time there, all his sinful reactions have eradicated. So here, the quality of our bhajan, the quality of our chanting is very important. Otherwise, the Lord Krishna may tell us, okay, you have to wait, maybe one more life or two more life or whatever like that. Okay, so everything depends on our quality of chanting. Anta kalecha smaran mugdha. That means, if you see in the story of this Bharat Maharaj also, correct, na? We know these 3 lives, how he is attached to the deer. But when he became deer, he did not forget. All his remembrance was there, fully active. And he was continuously taking shelter of all the sages. And at the end, he remembered, we know later he became Jada Bharat, and he was like a completely dull-minded for the material people. And he went back home, back to God. So, the Namaparat stage or the Seva Aparat, will continue, but we have to endeavor continuously to come to the at least Namabha stage. Then the promise of Lord Krishna that Yogakshemam Mohamyaham, or I will come, and so that will be there. Otherwise, if we continue with our same activities, then we may lose our hope. Even if you see in the example of Jayanand Prabhu had a cancer actually, and his parents, they have sent $5,000 for cure his disease. And he straightway gave those Lakshmi to Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, no, this is given for your treatment. You please use it. He said, no, Prabhupada, you please use it for the service. Prabhupada becomes so emotional actually, Prabhupada. And later we know that when Jayanand Prabhu, he left the body, Prabhupada said, yeah, he must have got higher destination, and from there back home, back to Godhead. But then Prabhupada chanted this Jai Anilo Premadana for him. So Prabhupada has not done this for all the devotees. Okay. Once actually, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj also, he asked Prabhupada, whether Prabhupada, all the devotees will go back home, back to Godhead? Prabhupada said, no. One who will follow the instruction of his spiritual master and completely surrender to the order of spiritual master, they will go back home, back to Godhead. And for others, yes, others will take one more life or two more life like that. Of course, we'll take birth in a family of Vaishnava, and of course we'll get a second chance. That means here we understood from the Vratrasura's example and various examples that surrender to the mission of spiritual master's instruction is so important. Like that. Even if you see Nala Kubera completely in the Madamast. Okay. And same culture we see now in US and other countries also. Correct? But in India, it's so pious to practice the spiritual life. We have association of devotees, Bharata Bhumi, and we can perfect our life and others' life. That is, facility is not there in other country. It's there, but it's limited. We cannot continue. There are so many challenges in other places. One person, he was in Jagannath Puri, and he said, okay, I'll take darshan of Jagannath, and he was postponing. But one day he died actually. That means he did not achieve his objective only. That means our objective must be clear. What I am going to achieve at the end when I surrender fully to the order of spiritual master. Tesha satata yuktana bhajatam priti purvakam. Even we saw in the example of Bhishma Pitama. Okay? When he died on the battlefield, he was seeing Lord Krishna face to face. Okay? So the end, if you see, Ant of all devotees, and we say Ant bala to sab bala, like that. Although they were playing the different roles as a service to the Lord, but you can see how glorious death each one of them they got. Even if you see in the example of Bhaktitirth Swami, once he got a dream actually, and he shared with our spiritual master. He said that when he died, this Yamraj came on the buffalo to take him. But that time he just reminded, and he said, Srila Prabhupada, you promised me that you will come at the end of my life and you will take. And when Yamraj was about to come on the buffalo, immediately Srila Prabhupada entered there. Srila Prabhupada came and took him to back to Godhead, with him. And he shared later with Radhanath Maharaj, and we know later he left the body. So, even one example I remember, the 4 devotees, they were on the book distribution, and they actually met with accident. And 2 of them, they died on the spot. One person got admitted in the hospital, and later he left the body. But their spiritual master immediately said that, no, they will go back to Godhead. Because they were serving Lord Krishna like Maminusmara Yuddhacha, like that. Similarly, if you see, this Srila Prabhupada offers very beautiful pair from this Kulasekhara, that Krishna Tvadiya Padapankaja Panjarantam Advaitume Vichitame Manasa Rajahansa Prana Prana Samaye Kapavata Pito Kantavarodana Vido Smaranam Kutaste. At the end of life, our voice, everything will get choked up. How will I be able to chant actually? It's very difficult. But Krishna tells, somewhere in Varaha Purana it is mentioned that one who is unable to chant at the last moment, Krishna gives smaranam. Okay, he gives the intelligence by which we can remember him and go back to Godhead. So here we understand from different examples and that how it is explained over here in the purport that Brahma Bhutha Pasannatma. The person can be equipoised, he can be joyful by his full surrender to this spiritual master. Because this ups and down, life and death, dualities will be always there. Matra Sparsha Sukhaunteya, Shitosna Sukha Dukkheta. This summer and winter will come. and happiness and distress will also come. But we should not get disturbed by these things. We should be always focused in our activities to the Lord Krishna. Like Prabhupada also says, another graphical example, when we take some person with his hair, and if you just put him immersed in the water, okay, he will feel miserable. When we will take him out, he will feel happy. Again miserable, again happy. But that happiness is how long? Okay. So it is said that when we die, at the time 40,000 scorpions they bite. I remember one devotee, when one scorpion, okay, bit him, that time, next 48 hours, he was like not able to sit, not able to stand. Forget about chanting and like that. Because that next 48 hours, you cannot, means you are in different world only with one Scorpio, 40,000. So, especially during last stage, many times these family people, when they surround any personality and soul is about to leave, sometimes these family people, they cry a lot. Yes, that's obvious. Okay, but they think, they always tell, okay, what will happen when you leave? And that person also puts into a lot of anxiety. What will happen when I leave? Okay, but we know in our devotees circle, okay, devotees are surrounded, okay, around us, and they remind that soul which is living about the Krishna, about the Harinam, about the holy name. And beautifully we see that soul, as it is mentioned here in the purport, the soul is like an observer. Atmanaha, that word is there. Soul is like an observer here. Okay. So glorious is that soul who uses the body in the association of devotees. Bhaunam Janmanam. So here we see the example of Prahlad Maharaj also. He tolerated so many ups and downs, but still he was completely focused on Lord Krishna. Like we see the example of King Rantidev. He was fasting, okay, 48 hours, more than that, such a fast. And when the Mahaprasad was brought to him, first Brahmanas came, then the Shudras came, then the Chandalas came, and finally when he was nothing was left, he was about to drink water. Okay, one person came with the dogs and he has to give that also. But such extremities did not become angry, did not like completely tolerate it. Very difficult. We can understand ourselves on Nirjal Ekadashi, on fasting. If something doesn't happen on time, really angers actually get exhibited on us. But remaining equipoised in this ups and down situation, it has to be, like we can say, that digested the whole philosophy and devotional service. Even in the example of Srivas Thakur, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was doing Kirtan, Harinam Kirtan in his house, his son has left the body. And his family member, they were in the other chamber and they were crying. He understood something wrong. He went inside and he said, what happened? Our son has died. It said, why you are crying? Why furiously? It will disturb Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He again came and joined Kirtan. And later when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to know, he went inside and he saw, he said, Srivas. And he really got touched with his, what we can say, the nature of equipoise. Not wanted to disturb Lord Chaitanya. And we know later when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought his boy back. And that boy also speaking wonderfully. That like this karma and other things. So, this, even Srivas Thakur, once he was insulted by this Gopal Chapal, I think. Okay, he put all the paraphernalia of this goddess Kali out of his house and called all the people, hey, see, he is a follower of that. And this Srivas Thakur, he also said, yes, I actually worship goddess Kali. But all the devotees, all the residents, they were knowing, no, you are a pure devotee, you are worship of Lord Vishnu and Lord Krishna only. Okay, and they only clean everything place and like that. So Srivas Thakur, or if you see this example, they did not encounter that whimsically. They maintain their faith on the spiritual master, they maintain faith on Lord Krishna and face that situation. Even if you see the Vasudev's leprosy, okay, this leprosy was such a that he was like completely quarantined. He was having worm on the body. Right now, today's world, we don't see such kind of diseases because technology, medical technology has advanced so much. But this worm which was falling, he was keeping again. Because he said he has a right to, okay, he has right to live here, like that. That was his condition. And he was like completely quarantined. We have seen during COVID-19 also. As soon as somebody is getting this COVID-19 positive, even if he is our close relative, previous moment he was our close relative, now he is positive, immediately we used to quarantine him. Next moment, either we used to call ambulance and send him alone to admit because no one can go. Can you imagine what was the situation? Like that. So this is a case where we are put into the situation, but in such cases also, how we can always remember, because actually Krishna consciousness is a matter of actually consciousness. That externally we may behave nicely, we may dress nicely, tilak, kantimala and all that. But how internally, okay, we are developing our consciousness, how internally we are uplifting our consciousness is very, very important. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu later, we know he literally embraced Vasudeva and he got his own body, nice body, and okay, told him to continue his service. So here we understand that even from a Srila Prabhupada's example also at the end, that when he was about to leave body, all the devotees were surrounded, and one devotee came, like Gaur Chandra Prabhu. He left actually movement, okay, and Govinda Dasi, his wife actually, they left the movement few years back. They left the Prabhupada. When he came to know Prabhupada is leaving the body, he came actually. He actually married second time and he came that time to meet Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada was so happy. Prabhupada said, "Oh, Gaur Chandra, you came back to assist me in my mission. Thank you so much." Prabhupada was appreciating, and he was there at last moment. Very last moment on like 11 November when Prabhupada wanted to go on Govardhan Parikrama, 11 November 1977. And that time we read that even Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, he also came. And when Prabhupada saw, I said, Gopal, oh, Gopal, you came? You left the service of printing and came here? Like that. That was Prabhupada's mood. He said, that means you left the service and came here. That means Prabhupada was contemplating and remembering the service and appreciating each and every devotee in his last moment. And we know on 14th November 1977, he left this world. So here we understand that how performing our service to best of our abilities to the spiritual master is very, very important. By the example of Prabhupada, that he glorified, he thanked each and every devotee that you helped me to fulfill the mission of my spiritual master. So we also look for the service, we also render service. But our service, sometimes we look for the target, sometimes we look for some achievement, and then only we say, oh, this result has come out, then our service is rendered. No, our spiritual master sees how much best of our abilities we have done the service. And he offers this to Lord Krishna. And our mission is fulfilled. That means pleasing the spiritual master is the ultimate mission of our spiritual life, and that we are exhibiting, that we are seeing here, which is exhibited by Vatrasur, remaining completely equipoised in both the situation. So last, I'll just summarize now that how this Vatrasur, this personality, or if you see the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, which is full of different devotees of Supreme Lord, and they show through their personal life that how to become a real devotee of the Lord. Why? Because when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, we have to associate with all these personalities because they have internalized the devotional service and they establish the devotional principle which we can learn. Srimad Bhagavatam also tells us on contrast how not to act like that. How you should not act, like Indra and different examples. They also play very other examples. How we should not commit mistake. And Vratrasur, as a Kshatriya, he exhibits certain qualities, great Kshatriya leader. The first one is about leading from the front. This Vratrasur, he was leading from the front as a leader, battle against demigods. Second, courage in the battle. He did not leave the battle. He inspired his party also not to leave the battle. Then, maintainer of the faith in dependence. Maintainer of the faith in dependence. He told his army, if you die here, you will get a glorious death. If you run, it's against the dharma principle. Then chastiser of the crooked activity, because when his army was about to leave, all the demigods were attacking cowardly from behind. So he chastised all the demigods. You are all the coward. Second last is heroism. When no one was there fighting, he alone was fighting. And when he alone was fighting, other party was also glorifying him for his spirit. And last is follower of Kshatriya codes. When Indra's weapon fell down, he gave time to Indra. I'll wait for some time. Please take that and then attack. It's a code of conduct. Like that. So these 6 qualities in mathematics we call LCM and HCM. So I just remembered like that. Least common multiple and highest common factor. We say, na? Leading from front, courage in battle, maintainer of the faith, then the heroism, chastiser of crooked mentality, and follower of the Kshatriya codes. He is performing as his duty. And last, as a devotee, he is exhibiting 4 qualities. He was detached and prayerful. Why detached? Because he did not, in the last 4 verses of 11th chapter also, beautiful prayers of Vratrasur is there. He doesn't want higher planets, Swargaloka and others. Rather, he tells that I want to continue my devotional service by serving my spiritual master. I want to be associated with my spiritual master, Narada. Second, faith in the Lord. He is telling Indra, this astra is given by Lord Vishnu, use that, it has a potency to kill me. He is having powerful faith. Rather, Indra was little doubtful. He is a great preacher. Vratrasura is a great preacher. Because he tells who ultimate controller is Lord Krishna, and how he was telling about the temporary nature of this material world. And when he told this to Indra, Indra really astonished. My God, this Vratrasura is a demon, but he is speaking like pure devotee to the Lord, pure devotional service to Lord Krishna. And finally, destination. In his original consciousness, when Indra was attacking here, we saw in his fight, he went to his abode of Lord Sankarshan with his Ishtadev to reside eternally there. So as a Kshatriya, as a duty, and as a devotee, he is exhibiting all these qualities through these sections of the Bhagavatam, what we have seen today. Even if he got misunderstood, he was resolute in purpose, and how at the end he focused completely on the Lord Krishna to fulfill the mission of his spiritual master by remaining equipoised, because he was completely a liberated person. And such kind of life we can achieve only by experience or by continuing our services with the spiritual master by complete surrender and full faith. So thank you very much. Is there any comment or any question? Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for such a wonderful class. It was very inspiring. My question has got two parts. Like in the Vedic culture and Vedic times, I think the duties were very clear and practically known to everybody. So, but in our current age and time, the duties, prescribed duties are not very clear. So this is one part of the question. The second part is like in case of Vritrasur, as you mentioned, the Prithu Maharaj's episode, that 99 yagya was done and the last was stopped because Indra was to be protected, right? But here in this case, Vritrasur actually swallowed Indra along with Airavat. So he didn't protect Indra, although he is a pure devotee. So, like as a devotee, we would say that if somebody is doing management, let him continue doing it. So why so much of killing happened despite knowing the position of Indra? So these are the two questions. And and ultimately, like Krishna says, Sarvatma Parityaja, right? So he could have just focused on just chanting, why to kill all this? Killing.
The first part is, although we may not be clear what are the prescribed duties and other aspects, but it is mentioned in the scriptures again and again, if something is not clear, then we need to ask with our spiritual master that which are the prescribed duties which will help me to focus on devotional service. Because the nature of material world is that we may act independently in an autonomous way by considering, okay, these might be prescribed duties, and we may get diverted with the focus like that. So connection with the spiritual master, hearing the spiritual master will again bring us back to our original path of prescribed duties, understanding clearly what should I do, what is pratikulan, what is anukul. This was the first part. Second, Vratrasura, although he is a pure devotee, but he gulped the Indra and Airavat. If you see this section, the Vratrasura, this fight actually, Vratrasura towards the end, he was really in hurry to meet his Ishtadev. And he wanted to finish, or he wanted to wind up this fight as early as possible. He is telling Indra, please take that weapon and kill me. Please kill me that way. Indra is extending the time only. But Vratrasura, he was eager to meet to his Ishtadev, and he was telling again and again. So finally, as a duty, he was fighting. Once he went into the trance, but again Indra was attacking. So Indra was attacking, again he started fighting. He ran away from the prescribed duty. Again he was fighting. But finally, Indra is kuch kar hi nahi rahe. So finally he gulped Indra and Airavat. And when he gulped Indra and Airavat, he actually went that time only in trance and back to Godhead. If we see at the last shloka here, that when Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes that here, Vratrasura is already killed and he went back to Godhead. Indra thought still he is there, but his body was there. Like we see in Parikshit Maharaj case also. Takshaka came, but Parikshit Maharaj already went back to Godhead. Externally we see his body is there, Takshaka to bite like that. Because these are like personalities, they are already liberated. I hope it is clear. Sorry. Any other comment? It's 9:10. Okay, we'll have last and then we'll stop because it's 9:15.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for the class. So you said about tolerating. So sometimes the situation are too tormenting. So at that time, how do you tolerate? Sometimes the situation are very tormenting, like
Very?
tormenting in the sense difficult to tolerate at that time.
Yeah.
As you can see, Chitraketu Maharaj, when his son died, it became very difficult for him at that time because he's too much emotionally attached. Every parent is emotionally attached to his child. If son dies, then it becomes very difficult. So at that such pain, how does one tolerate? Because as you said in somewhere that we have to tolerate, we have to learn to tolerate.
So here we talk about the tolerance in the devotional context is tolerance, and this tolerance can be developed only by in the association of devotees. This tolerance we cannot achieve. Like for example, I'll tell tolerance, or we can say kind of austerity sometimes we have to do. If you go in the Himalayas, the sadhus, they deep into the very cold water inside, tolerating all those coldness and everything. Okay, but we don't do that is not mentioned for in our acharyas or anywhere you do that kind of austerity, that kind of tolerance. Okay, here sometimes we may have to tolerate, or we may have to become austere in maintaining our right choice in the life. Correct, na? Like in the boys' days, we say, na, we tell the boy, you have to get up at 4 o'clock. But he knows, his other friend in the college, they cannot get up, but he has to get, and he has agreed, therefore he has shifted in the voice. Because he has taken a right choice in the life to decide to make the austerity, to tolerate, okay, certain whatever things, bodily requirement it has. So this tolerance is possible only in the association of devotees, as far as this current yuga is considered. And the holy name can give us strength for person. And as I said, from the Bhagavatam only, when we get enlightened from our spiritual master or from the authorities, our Shiksha Guru and Diksha Gurus, then in a heart that knowledge awakens, and we really understand, like equipoise stage, that stage which I am going under through, I have to tolerate, because after this stage, something next exciting is going to come in my life. That's what we learn. I started my class like unusual things happen, and these unusual things makes our life more exciting, as we see in the Bhagavatam also. So something bad is happening, we have to be sure that something good is going to come, like that. So we have to tolerate, we have to just tolerate that situation. Like mother also cooks in the summer season in the kitchen. It's very hot actually, very hot, very difficult to cook in a kitchen, but they tolerate and cook. In the winter it's little pleasant, like that. So that phase is like temporary, we have to understand. I hope it is clear.
Thank you. Lord.
Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Thank you very much.